The idea that vaccines are being used to implant microchips into people is one of the most pervasive and controversial conspiracy theories of the modern era. This theory gained significant traction during the COVID-19 pandemic, as governments and organizations worldwide rolled out vaccination campaigns. Proponents of the microchipping conspiracy claim that these chips are part of a larger plan to surveil and control the population. This is the story of the microchipping through vaccines conspiracy, a tale of fear, technology, and the battle for privacy in the digital age. The origins of the conspiracy. The microchipping conspiracy has its roots in broader fears about government surveillance, corporate control, and the erosion of personal privacy. The theory gained momentum in the early 2000s with the rise of RFID, radio frequency identification, technology, which is used in everything from pet microchips to contactless payment systems. Concerns about this technology being used to track humans were further fueled by science fiction and dystopian narratives. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the conspiracy theory resurfaced with new vigor. As governments and tech companies developed contact tracing apps and digital health passports, some people began to fear that vaccines were being used as a Trojan horse to implant tracking devices. The conspiracy theories. The microchipping through vaccines conspiracy encompasses several interconnected ideas. Here are the most prominent. 1. Vaccines contain microchips. Some theorists believe that vaccines, particularly the COVID-19 vaccines, contain tiny microchips that can track individuals' movements and activities. Key points. Proponents claim that the chips are small enough to be injected and can be powered by the human body. Evidence. Some point to Bill Gates' involvement in vaccine development and his past comments about digital health records as proof of the conspiracy. Counterpoint. Scientists and medical experts have repeatedly debunked this claim, stating that it is physically impossible to inject a functional microchip through a vaccine needle. 2. The Great Reset and global control. The conspiracy is often linked to the World Economic Forum's (WEF) Great Reset initiative, which aims to rebuild the global economy in a more sustainable way. Theorists argue that microchipping is part of a plan to establish a global surveillance state. Key points. The WEF has discussed the use of digital IDs and health passports, which some interpret as steps toward mass surveillance. Evidence. Proponents cite WEF articles and videos about the Fourth Industrial Revolution as evidence of a hidden agenda. Counterpoint. The WEF has clarified that its initiatives are focused on improving global cooperation and sustainability, not on controlling individuals. 3. Bill Gates and the Mark of the Beast. Some religious groups have linked the microchipping conspiracy to biblical prophecies about the Mark of the Beast, a symbol of allegiance to a tyrannical world leader. Key points. They argue that vaccines are a precursor to the Mark of the Beast, which will be required for buying and selling. Evidence. Proponents point to Bill Gates' philanthropic work in global health as evidence of his role in the conspiracy. Counterpoint. Religious scholars and scientists reject this interpretation, stating that it is based on a misreading of scripture and a misunderstanding of technology. 4. Digital health passports. The development of digital health passports, which store vaccination records and test results on smartphones, has fueled fears of surveillance. Key points. Theorists argue that these passports are the first step toward a mandatory digital ID system. Evidence. Some point to the use of QR codes and blockchain technology as evidence of a larger plan. Counterpoint. Health officials state that digital passports are designed to facilitate safe travel and public health, not to track individuals. The science behind vaccines. To understand why the microchipping conspiracy is implausible, it's important to look at the science behind vaccines. Vaccine composition. Vaccines contain antigens, adjuvants, stabilizers, and preservatives, but there is no room for microchips in the formulation. Needle size. The needles used for vaccinations are too small to inject a microchip, which would require a much larger needle. Power source. A functional microchip would require a power source, which is not feasible in a vaccine. The impact of the conspiracy. The microchipping conspiracy has had serious consequences, including vaccine hesitancy. Misinformation has led some people to refuse vaccines, putting themselves and others at risk. Erosion of trust. The conspiracy has undermined trust in public health institutions and scientific experts. Social division. The theory has fueled polarization and conflict, particularly on social media. The legacy of the conspiracy. The microchipping through vaccines conspiracy reflects broader societal anxieties about technology, privacy, and government control. While the theory has been debunked, it continues to shape public discourse and influence attitudes toward vaccines and public health. Please remember to like, share and subscribe for more. Stay informed.